Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick demonstration that kind of shows you how these different air masses work, or how those different air masses coming together create the different types of fronts. Now, this is a pretty cool website and it does a really good job of illustrating this. Unfortunately, not everybody might be able to access it depending on what kind of computer you're using. So I wanted to kind of make a video to show you a kind of demonstration or illustration of these different types of fronts. The first one that we want to go over here is a cold front. Now, a cold front happens when we have a warm air mass and a cold air mass coming together, and the cold air mass is going to come into that warm air mass very quickly. And typically it happens when they're moving towards each other like this. We see the warm air mass and the cold air moving towards each other. And what happens is that warm air gets pushed upward very, very quickly. And because the warm air gets pushed upward very, very quickly, that's going to cause condensation, because as it goes upward, it cools off. So it cools off quickly. It creates clouds. It creates these huge cumulonimbus clouds. And this is the type of front where we typically see our severe weather, our thunderstorms, hailstorms, tornado. And it happens because that warm air is moving upward so quickly. So that's the main difference between a cold front and a warm front, is going to be the speed in which that warm air is pushed upward. So if we look at that difference compared to a warm front happens, still the warm air is rising, but usually these two air masses are going to be moving in the same direction. And the warm air mass is just moving a little bit faster. So as it slowly catches up to the colder air mass, that warm air mass rises over. Well, again, warm air rising is carrying moisture into the atmosphere. That's cooling off, creating clouds, which is going to give us rain. However, this is not going to be severe weather. This is typically the type of weather that it's cloudy, it's overcast for long periods of time. We have the extended kind of light rain and drizzle throughout the day. So that's the type of thing that happens with a warm front. So next is going to be our stationary front. Now, a stationary front happens when two air masses are kind of coming together, but neither one is really kind of overpowering the other one or pushing it out of the way. Sometimes it also happens when they're kind of moving side by side next to each other. So they're kind of coming together, so we're getting that effect. However, they're not really pushing past or pushing one out of the way. And because we get this mix of warm air and cool air that just kind of stays in one place for a while, that's where we get that term stationary. It's just kind of staying in one place. And so the weather we're going to get from this is going to be very similar to a warm front, because we're going to have that longer period of rain, typically light rain, overcast skies, but not really the heavy rain and severe weather that we would get with a cold front. And then finally, we have our occluded front. An occluded front is where we have the cooler air pushing past a warm front. So right here, this would be similar to a cold front. And then here we've got warm air trying to get by. That would be a warm front. So really it's kind of where a cold front and a warm front almost come together. And when that happens, this warmer air is kind of trapped in the middle between two pockets of colder air. Well, we know warm air rises, so as it gets trapped, this warmer air rises and kind of gets stuck above that cooler air mass. So again, that warmer air rising, as it cools off, condensation occurs. It's going to create the clouds. It's going to give us precipitation. But again, it's going to be fairly light precipitation. It's not going to be the heavy storms that we would typically get with a cold front. So hopefully you guys are able to kind of use this on your own and play around, experiment, see what happens with these different types of fronts. And if you have any questions, make sure you come back and ask us. Have a good day.